Hey guys, DevHedron here, and today I'm going to be doing a devlog on a game I made for two game jams. The game jams were Pygame Community Game Jam, and the second game jam was, if I'm right, I don't exactly remember its name, but it was something like Winter 2021 Game Jam or something. So this game was made over the period of 4 days, and I had a lot of fun making it, and the base of the game was from my previous games, but the mechanics and the logic, I tried doing something new for, like, let's say the enemy generation or the coins and stuff like that. I also changed some of the base of the code, like let's say the collision code. If it was 5 lines, I just made it like 1 line. And without further ado, this is the final result. As most of you can tell, and if not, I mainly focused on the game mechanics for this game, and I didn't focus that much on the graphics, since, like, in the past when I focused on the graphics, my game would be really buggy, since I would spend like 80% of the jam time on the graphics, and I would spend like 10% or 15% of it on the programming. So this time I didn't do that. Instead, I focused on the programming and just used some simple shapes, as you can see, for the art, and it turned out not bad. It didn't turn out that bad. Like, it was fine. It's not the best, but it's fine and it works. So now the base code for the game was from my previous games, like the one I made for Danny's Basement Jam. I think that's the name of the jam. I didn't make a devlog on it, but like it's on my itch.io if you want to check it out. So the game wasn't the best, that one also. So like, I spent, as I said, most of the time making the art. So I took like the tile collisions and stuff from that, but like the game logic for this game, so let's say like the enemies and stuff, that was completely different from my previous, like literally all my previous platformers and games. It was very different, because this time, instead of having like let's say randomly generated enemies like in Noveen, and randomly generated coins, instead I just made it so that my tile parser, let's say tile parser, because so when I would load the map, so if I added more digits into it, so it's basically a list of numbers. So initially there were two main numbers, 0, 1 and 2. You would say that's 3, but like 1 and 2 did the same thing. 1 and 2 were for tiles, 0 was for nothing, so air, and there was 3 which was for coins, and 4 which was for enemies. So that I put into the map. So when it would be like something like, if tile equals 4, or tile num equals 4, it's gonna like add the position of that number into a list, a special list, depending on what it was. Like if it was a 4, it would add to the enemy list. If it was a 3, it would add to the coin list. So I did that, and it turned out much better than I expected. Now, as you can probably tell, in the top right, there's 3 main mechanics that I enjoyed implementing a lot, and those were the time, the coins, and the if you can see, it's like a rectangle, and it like the white in the rectangle, it disappears after some time, and it disappears because like when I press the S button, which is the dash button, it disappears. So like I use 1 bar of my stamina. So that's something that I had a lot of fun implementing in Novene, when I implemented dash, the problem was it would let you dash forever. So that was one problem that I had to solve, and it was pretty easy to solve. What I did was I just added the stamina bar, and I did stamina equals to 2, so you can dash only 2 times. I declared stamina equals to 2 outside of the while loop, so it's not going to be in this picture. And whenever you would dash, it would decrease by 1, and when it was 0, it would take about 5 or 7 seconds to regenerate. I think it was 4 or 5, not 7. So it would take that time, and based off of if you collected coins or not, the more coins you collected, it would decrease by, I think, 1 second or something, or 0.1 second. I don't exactly remember, but it's something similar to that. And the time mechanic was pretty easy to implement. It was just like 4 lines, 3-4 lines. What I did was, first I declared time out of the while loop while I was declaring the variables, and then I just added 1 in the game while loop, and then my game, since it was running at 120 FPS, it would add 120 every second. Since it's running at 120 frames, so it would add 1 every frame, so it would add 120 per second. So that so I just divided 1, so like let's say I had 120, so that's 1 second, right? So 120 divided by 120 frames per second, and that would give me the time, which is 1 second. And I did that for like every second, and it would show the time. And then there were the coins, so that I already explained. I just used static positions for the tiles, and it was pretty easy after that. And I just used some basic collision code, like if coin rect dot collide rect with player rect, the coin count plus equals 1, and then I just remove the coin from that list. Shout out to MousyDev and Rick's Torso for giving me feedback on the game, and also shout out to Evolz for making my new Discord server logo. And this is the logo, so I'll be linking his Discord server in the description, so be sure to check him out. And one last thing is that I will be changing my upload schedule. So previously it was one video per week, but now it's probably going to be 1 video every 2 weeks or something like that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.